Hello, once again, Eridos here, and we have part 3 of my Digimon reviews of the Digivolving series, or at least the ones I own, and we have Renamon, who is quite the popular character in furry communities. Yeah, don't bother looking up fan art for her if you don't want to be a little scarred from not safe for work images. Sorry, I just have to bring that up. You've been warned. And this is the This is still Digivolving, but this is the considered Digivolving according to the wiki. And yeah, this one is kind of the weaker of the 3 I've reviewed so far. First off, her arms and chest are black. This is for transformation, but that does not look accurate to the character for obvious reasons. I also don't recall her having these gauntlets, again, for transformation. She has little fur tufts on her arm, but they just hang there. And look at that back kibble. That just does not look right. And her legs. I applaud they're trying to do digigraded legs. No pun intended. But that does not look right at all. In fact, those look like giant bunny feet with 3 clawed toes. And it just makes her lean forward at an awkward angle. And before you ask, no, her hips do not work because of how the back kibble, how these are plugged into her back. Get a little bit of articulation out of her tail, but it's really just held in place there. Her arms get a decent range, but I'm reluctant to use it because of the age of the toy. She has a little bit ball joints in her fingers. And she has a wrist swivel, and that is about it. She has what could be considered knee joints, but considering how her hips do not work, and you can get a little ball joint in her feet, but it's more just to keep her standing. And her eye, it's just blue and black. You can see the sculpting in there. I mean, hang on, just 1 second here. Look at Wargreymon. His eyes are painted and they're smaller than those. Yes, I know this was at least 3 seasons ago, but I think 2 seasons ago, but still. Why? Bandai, why did you drop the quality on this? Anyway, let's get down to transformation. First off, we gotta unpeg the thing that's keeping her hips from working. We have to just leave that there for now. We carefully twist her waist around, and yes, the waist articulation also does not work in this mode. We twist her entire leg around because there's a hole there and there's a peg there. So we extend her leg down and peg that into place, trying to keep the knee pad as flush to the leg as possible. And as you can see, we now move the back of her leg to make a high-heeled shoe, and we fold the toe in and the other toes in to make what's supposed to be a shoe of some kind. Repeat the same process for the other leg. I'm reluctant. Well, this is held up a lot longer than my Chewbacca, which had gold plastic. This doesn't seem to be the kind of gold plastic that's going to be that I'm going to be worried about breaking. I'm sure TJ can tell you all about gold plastic, but considering how this has lasted longer than my Chewbacca, I'm not too worried. Okay, we gotta fold her fingers together, although that doesn't really do much. They're supposed to be sculpting to make it look like 4 when they're combined, but who cares? Because it just looks bad. Her shoulders just fold in like so, and we see yin yang symbols there. We take the chest and we pop that apart. And yeah, this part is kind of... It's not... I don't think the instructions actually explained what you're supposed to do with them. But most people I see just do, well, this. Just plug it back together behind her back. Now for the head. Much like Agumon, we just split the head in half, and we have half of a human head in there. Let's not make any furry jokes, please. I've already met my quota there, and I'd rather not anger them. Seriously, some of the people I know are furries, and they're not that bad people. Now we take this, and in order to put it on her head, we gotta split it in half. Fold these little bits on here to make it look like a fox mask, which just pegs together on top of the human head. We fold in the chest piece, and now we go to the tail. And I never really got this to work properly. We extend this out, we split it in half, yes, more splitting in half, and this peg is supposed to go into that hole behind her neck. And this is why I say I never get this to work, because you're supposed to splay it out like this, but it's really hard to get it to look like twin pigtails. I think this is supposed to be a full head of hair, but it just looks like she has two pigtails. And that's more or less Sakuyamon. But she also has one other thing, and that is her staff. You know, there's supposed to be 8 rings, but I only got 7 now. So she's supposed to be able to hold it, but as you can see, her hands are not really equipped to do so. And it just sits there in her hand. She doesn't really hold it. And that's really all I have to say about Sakuyamon. And look at that. Look at that! There's no feminine features to this at all. The face doesn't have a feminine slant to it. That chest looks like pectorals, not breasts. I know I shouldn't be pointing that out on a toy, but it does make this look like a muscular guy and not a feminine woman. Let's throw that over there. Hips. They only really work in Renamon mode because that thing right there blocks the forward movement. And even if it wasn't there, you don't get a whole lot. And of course we get the same arm articulation as with Renamon, and no head articulation, which is why I didn't point it out with Renamon, because you do get ball jointed ankles again, but because of how the foot transforms, you can barely use it. Knee articulation, okay, granted that sort of works, but with how the feet work, it just doesn't. To be honest, this is a very disappointing version of the character. Again, she's popular. She is one of the 2 most popular female Digimon I know of. And yes, for the reasons I've listed earlier in the video, but still. Let's do some size comparisons. So, let's get my Beast Machine's Tankor there. She is a lot taller than him. Let's try something a little bit higher in the scale-wise. How about something for Beast Machines? Beast Machines Megatron from Transmetal 2, and She towers over him, too. So she is tall. Let's try something else. Voyager, she towers over Voyager. Should have brought a leader class with me, but I'm pretty sure... Oh, sorry there. I'm pretty sure that leader class would still be taller, though. Yeah, she is a disappointing Transformer, especially considering this is supposed to be Bandai, not Hasbro. But Hasbro has done their share of pretty bad Transformers, too. I mean, take a look at my review of Thundercracker and see what Transformer I pulled out for that thing. I regret buying that Transmetal Mega... that Titanium Megatron. Anyway, Sakuyamon is disappointing. I mean, it's a nice representation, at least in appearance, for some of it, but not a whole lot. And you can see there is sculpted detail that should have been painted. She has yin-yang symbols on her arms and knees, and they're not painted. Her chest needs more painted detail. Her face, there is a line on her face where it was supposed to be painted black. They skimped a lot on her, and I really hope if they bring back Renamon and Digimon Spirits that they make a new toy. Ignore this, scrap it entirely, make a new toy, or hell, if you're gonna re-release something, how about the Tailmon? From what I've seen, that looks way better. More accurate to the character. Well, hopefully the next review will be better. Because hopefully next few days I should be... Because I'm recording all three of these reviews back to back, but the fourth review I'm waiting for the figure to come in. So hopefully you enjoyed this review, and I'll see you again next time. Later!